Welcome back to the channel. We explore the Australia 1 cent coin from 1971. A small but very important piece of Australian monetary history. This coin comes from the early years of Australia's decimal currency system, which began in 1966. The 1971 1 cent coin represents a time when small change was still very useful in everyday life. People used coins like this for buying bread, milk, newspapers, and many other daily items. On the front of the coin, you can see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who appeared on Australian coins for many decades. Her image represents stability, tradition, and the connection between Australia and the Commonwealth. On the back of the coin, there is a feather-tailed glider, a small and beautiful Australian animal. This design makes the 1 cent coin special and uniquely Australian. In this video, we explain the metal composition of the 1971 1 cent coin, which is made of bronze. This gives the coin its brown color and solid feel. We also talk about the size, weight, smooth edge, and thickness of the coin, and how it feels in the hand compared to modern coins. The 1971 1 cent coin was produced at a time when Australia was growing and modernizing very quickly. In this video, we show clear close-up views of both sides of the coin so you can enjoy the fine details of the Queen's portrait and the feather-tailed glider. We also talk about what life was like in Australia in the early 1970s. A time of social change, new technology, and economic development. Coins like this were part of almost every purchase, especially for small everyday items. In this video, we explain the difference between circulated and uncirculated coins, and how condition affects collector interest. We also explain where usually appears first, especially on the Queen's portrait and the animal design. We discuss how collectors use magnifying glasses and good lighting to study small details. We also talk about coin grading and condition levels, even for simple and affordable coins like this one. In this video, we explain why cleaning old coins is usually a bad idea and can reduce their collector value. We also discuss how many people today still remember using 1 and 2 cent coins in daily life before they were removed from circulation. The Australian 1 cent and 2 cent coins were officially withdrawn in the 1990s, which makes these coins a piece of lost everyday history. We talk about how many people collect full sets of Australian decimal coins, and why the 1971 1 cent is an important part of those sets. In this video, we explain how to store and protect bronze coins, so they do not corrode or change color too quickly. We also talk about how air, moisture, and fingerprints can affect copper and bronze coins over time. We explain how some 1 cent coins develop dark toning or patina, which many collectors find interesting and attractive. We also talk about how even very common coins become meaningful when you learn. One interesting fact about the 1971 1 cent coin is how many of them were produced to meet the needs of everyday shopping. Because prices were low, small coins were extremely important in daily life. In the video, we also explain how these coins were used in schools, small shops, and local markets across Australia. Almost everyone carried a few 1 cent coins in their pockets. We also talk about how children often use these coins to buy sweets or save in piggy banks. For many people, this coin brings back childhood memories. In this video, we explain how to tell the difference between a worn coin and a better preserved one. Small details on the Queen's portrait and the animal design make a big difference. We also discuss how bronze coins change color over time, becoming darker or sometimes reddish. This natural aging is part of the coin story. We talk about how collectors look for original surfaces and avoid coins that have been polished or cleaned. In the video, we explain how the Royal Australian Mint worked to produce high-quality coins in the early decimal years. We also discuss how Australia's decimal change in 1966 was one of the biggest changes in the country's money system. The 1971 1-cent coin belongs to the early generation of these new coins. We also talk about how many people kept jars and boxes full of 1 and 2-cent coins at home. These collections are now small treasures of the past. In this video, we explain how to store bronze coins so they are protected from moisture and air. We also talk about the dangers of PVC plastic and why collectors avoid it. We discuss how some collectors enjoy building full date sets of Australian 1-cent coins. The 1971 coin is an important part of that journey. We also explain how even though these coins are no longer used, they are still remembered with affection. They represent a simpler time in everyday shopping. We talk about how inflation slowly made small coins less useful, which is why they were eventually removed from circulation. In the video, we explain how the feather-tailed glider is a unique and beautiful Australian animal. This makes the coin special among world coins. We also discuss how designers carefully chose animals to represent Australia's wildlife on its coins. We talk about how some 1971 coins were saved in mint sets, which is why high-quality examples still exist. We also explain how to handle coins safely by holding them only by the edges. This protects them from fingerprints and damage. We also talk about how collecting world coins helps people learn about different countries and cultures. The Australian 1-cent is a great example. We discuss how even a very small coin can tell a big story about a nation's history.